things in our relationship that are a little bit difficult sometimes to deal with. Maybe just some of the things as far as just assumptions.
It's consistently been where you would say something and then do something else.
Because I haven't even finished anything. I still can't even finish my statement.
Here, like, saying stuff that's not even accurate. You trying
and what are you doing? Doing the same thing. You're doing the same thing.
No,
just
I'm
listen,
not.
bro. Just listen.
Okay, but can I just say
Whoa, stop. Hold on. We are going to help this couple, Keith and Chancey. Right, Christiane? Things are really bad between them.
And I know a lot of couples are going through this. And so you stay on because we're going to help them and you will be helped too.
Yeah, that's our Love Lab. We're going to watch the whole conversation and understand why they are fighting so much. Welcome to the Love School USA. The Love School, what is the Love School? Please, logo on. The Love School USA. That's it. Christiane, why is there a need for a school about love?
Because people need to learn how to love. Because most people, Renato, think that they don't need to learn love. That love it just comes naturally at every human being. They know how to love, they don't need to learn. But they are suffering because of love. And the funny thing is that you need to learn about everything else in life. Why don't you learn about love?
That's right. You can go to school to learn a different language, to learn a trade. You can go to university to learn about anything under the sun. But there's no school for love, right? Until now, because now you have the Love School. And we are going to help you. Christiane and I have been married for 28 years, have had our share of problems. We'll tell you more along the program. But now, we would like to talk to you about a celebrity who said something very interesting in the recent news. So let's talk about Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck, Christiane, recently declared that one of his biggest regrets in life was to have divorced Jennifer Garner. And this comes right along the results of a study that was made into couples that divorce. And the study found that most couples, more than 50%, about 54% of couples who have divorced, they regret having divorced within 6 months of the divorce. They wish they could have tried a little bit more to save their relationship.
Yeah, and I can understand why. Because, you know, when you're going through a lot of problems in your marriage and you don't know what to do with them, all you want is to go away, to just get out of that situation. So most people, they tend to go for divorce because they think, you know, I can't take this person anymore. I can't even look at this person or hear this person's voice. Let me get out. So they go for divorce. But after a while, you know, they start thinking, because now they're not feeling so much the anger. They start thinking about, should I have done something different?
The good things they had together.
Their story. Did I make any mistakes? What were my mistakes? But now it's too late.
Yes, and they miss what they had, the good things that they had. And now that the feelings of anger, resentment are gone, they are thinking a little bit more clearly, and they can see that they could have tried different things. And that was the case, apparently, with Ben Affleck, who obviously has 3 children with Jennifer, and apparently the reason why they divorced was because Jennifer couldn't put up anymore with his drinking and gambling and a lot of addiction, and she put an end to the marriage. Couples, sometimes they make a rash decision. They think that there is no solution for their problems, and they think that divorce is the only way out. But the truth is that they don't want to divorce. What they want is to put an end to the suffering of the relationship, but they don't know how. So they choose an exit strategy, thinking, well, if I quit this marriage, at least I'll stop suffering. Yes, you will stop suffering from relationship problems, but you will have other kind of problems, especially if you have children, like Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner. You have children, you will still be connected because of the children, and you will have a new set of problems, how you're going to visit, and then you miss, and then have to see the person you love with somebody else, starting another life. So a different set of problems begins.
And now you understand why we said in the beginning of the program why you need to learn how to love. Because, you know, everybody gets married because they love each other. How come at some point in their life they start hating each other? What happened there? Does love end? Love alone by itself does not hold a marriage. And maybe this is completely new for you because you've always heard, love
conquers all.
Conquers all. If you love each other, then you're gonna solve everything. People are going through hell in their marriage and they love each other. It's not because they don't love each other. They do love, but they don't know how to deal with the little problems or the big problems that comes with the relationship.
Yeah, they lack relationship skills. They don't know how to deal with the differences in personalities, with behaviors that are unacceptable. They just don't know how to deal with it. And they think, no, just because we love each other, we're going to be happy. That's not so. We're going to see more about this during the program. Let's answer this question now, Christiane, that we received via the Instagram of the Love School USA. Let's go to the question.
My husband and I both work full-time. When his workday is finished, mine continues the moment I walk through the door. I'm doing the laundry, cleaning, cooking, helping the kids with their homework, and lots of other things. I feel so exhausted at times, and quite frankly, I'm fed up. I'm the one doing everything, and he just sits on the sofa watching TV. I've tried speaking to him about it countless times, and he'll help a bit. But then he goes back to his old ways. I'm at the point where I don't want to do anything in the house at all, just to show him the mess things would be if I didn't work so hard. How can I get him to get off his butt and do something?
All right, oldest problem in the world. Well, the house chores, right? Both of them work full-time, and she feels that he's not pulling his weight with the things to do in the house. Christiane, this problem is very easily solved, right? At work, they both work outside the house, so they probably have a job description, because no company, no business would succeed if its employees did not know what they were doing, what each one was doing in the team. So what you need to do at home is basically the same thing. You need, perhaps not as far as a job description, but you need to divide the house chores.
I'm thinking, Renato, that maybe she has already tried that. A lot of women, they start like this. Maybe you could help me with that and stuff. But the problem here, and I would like to call attention of all women, okay? Because I also had this problem, and I learned. The problem is the way you say things, the way you speak to your man. If you tell him like a mother tells a child he's gonna resent you, he's not gonna do anything because he feels disrespected by you. And so maybe you're right, you are right. He needs to help you. But the way you're speaking to him makes you look bad, makes you look wrong. In his eyes, you're just telling him what to do.
Diminishing him.
He doesn't feel like inspired to help.
Yeah, or diminishing his efforts. For example, perhaps you say to him, well, at least you could help me take the trash out.
The at least could go out.
At least. You don't have to.
Get rid of the at least.
Listen, most wives who have their husbands help out around the house know this secret. That if you ask gently and if you are patient to start small, okay? Start small. Don't expect that ideal 50-50, because we both work outside and we both make money, so he has to work and 50-50 of the house chores. That's not the way it goes usually, until at least, of course, if you have a husband sitting on the couch and watching TV while you do all the housework, he's not gonna get from 0 to 60 overnight. All right?
Yeah,
and you've got to get started somewhere.
Yeah, and let's remember as well that a lot of mothers, they do this with their boys. They don't tell them to work at the house. So when they grow up, they're thinking, I'm at home here, I just want to rest. And they don't do this to be just lazy, they don't do this on purpose. And so a wise woman understands that, and she then teaches him nicely how it's done. So I did this with my husband.
I'm housebroken.
He is housebroken, yes, he is. He is. And you know how I did it? I stopped complaining. The first thing you have to do is stop complaining, stop making faces, going there and picking up the things on the floor and just, oh, you never do anything. Stop doing that, okay? Pick it up. And you put where, you do what you need to do. And then you carefully say, oh, could you pick up that thing for me and put it over there? It was one thing that he did it, and then you're like, oh, thank you so much for helping me.
You cover him with thanks.
Thank you. You helped me so much.
I know.
And that's the start.
Most women, Christiane, think right now that they think, oh no, I don't have to do that. He doesn't need to be praised because he picked up his clothes, his dirty clothes, and put it in the basket. That's his obligation. Yes, but that's the point. He's not doing it. If he's done it, and you encourage him, you make him feel good about it, he will want to do it again, and then who knows, something else besides that as well. That's the secret that we are trying to share with you here. Worked for me, works with a lot of couples, and it could work for you.
And there's
as well.
one more thing that I'd like to tell them. You have to choose what he's gonna do. Don't expect him to do everything that you do, because you're probably good at it. You're very good at it. You can manage. Look at you. You work outside the home and you work inside the house and you do everything. You already know how to do it. He doesn't. He's never done it. So go little by little and give him easy tasks like the garbage outside, and the glass in the sink. Go with little things, and then suddenly he's helping you more because he feels, I'm sure that when the wife says, oh, you helped me so much, thank you for that, he feels like, I'm gonna do more of that because look at her, she's so happy with me.
I know this may sound like we are morons, right? Because she's saying start small and easy things, but it's not about that. It's about wisdom, okay? It's about wisdom. You're trying to get the big boy to, shake a leg and do something. So start with wisdom, all right? A wise woman builds up her home. That's what it's all about.
If you have questions about relationship, you can send your questions to our Instagram, The Love School USA.
Send us a question there, and we'll answer right here on the program. Well, now it's time for our Love Lab, the marriage lab here at the Love School. The time for us to help that couple in the beginning of the program, Keith and Chancey. What is the Love Lab, Christiane? We put a couple who are having issues and they can't sort out their problems for some reason. We lock them in a room, turn on the cameras, let them argue, and we'll watch them and tell them where they're going wrong and how can they solve their problems, okay? So let's watch this argument, this heated argument between Keith and Chancey, and let's see how we can help them.
The things in our relationship that are a little bit difficult sometimes to deal with, maybe just some of the things as far as just assumptions or things that are said against me that aren't true, against my character or who I am.
It's consistently been where you would say something and then do something else, or you would lead me on to believe one thing and it was something completely different, which is why we're in this situation right now.
I got employment and I tried to get, just some income to come in. I felt like it still wasn't appreciated because even though I would take that, try to pay rent, wash your clothes, and cook, and do whatever I could around the house, I just felt like it wasn't seen, it wasn't appreciated. It was almost like you only seen me for that one thing because I didn't come through on that one thing. You
led me on to believe that we were going to get a place together, which is what I had been preparing for. I had been going to different apartments, trying to figure out where we were going to stay, making arrangements to live with you. And I didn't find out until you was talking to someone else that you had a completely different plan.
You had 3 months to go ahead and get a legit job with steady income. Instead, you end up moving into another place, and then you kept telling me.
Because my lease was up.
Yes.
And you told me we were going to move in together. At the last minute, you decided you wanted to do
you did not set yourself up.
I wouldn't have had a problem with that.
All right, let's already point something out here. You notice how they've escalated their conversation. Now it's about at the level of argument, because they started talking, they were listening, but as the accusations began to pile on, they started raising their voices and talking over each other.
And there's another thing that I'd like to point out, and this is not going to help them, but it's going to help you who are thinking about doing this. They moved in together. When you move in together with your boyfriend, you're not really doing something that is going to be good for you in the long run. Because, you know, at first it's like, oh, you know, we love each other, we want to wake up, you know, next to each other and it's going to be great. But you're not planning. And when you don't plan, you don't give yourself a structure for a relationship to be built on.
Yeah, it's like you're holding hands together and jumping off a cliff and hoping that you will get down there in one piece.
And that's what they did. You know, they went to move in together. She had an expectation about him. She was thinking, you know, we're gonna have a place, and he wasn't thinking like that. He was just thinking, you know, let's see what's gonna happen. And so you see all the complaints that they have about each other is because of this lack of structuring this relationship.
Yes, and also Keith's first complaint about Shansei was that he feels, Shansei, that you keep assuming a lot of things about him. And by that, it means that he feels that you accuse him of not pulling his weight, of not doing his part, or that he's not being honest with you. And you attack his character. And it's very important to understand that, because couples make this mistake a lot when they are arguing. Instead of attacking the problem, they attack each other's character. One thing is for you to say, we have a housing problem. Another thing is for you to say, you don't move, you don't get your butt off this couch to get us a house because you're lazy. So you're attacking his character instead of attacking the housing problem. And that's probably what Keith is complaining about here, that he feels attacked by the way you speak to him. But let's continue watching them and see as far as they go.
You're right. I didn't set myself up because I trusted that me and you were going to have a plan together. That's why I fell short.
And I told you for the fact that I was going to go to school.
You didn't tell me something different until the last minute.
I haven't even got to finish, and that's how it's always been.
No, it's not.
Anytime I get to say anything about my feelings, that's why I'm depressed now. Because anytime I try to talk about my feelings, I have to sit here and compress them, because you feel so validated to mention how you didn't do this, or you didn't do that, or you didn't do this, or what I'm saying or what I'm feeling isn't true to you. And so I have to internalize my feelings and then be depressed.
And every time when I try to express it to you, you act like,
okay,
oh, that's
well,
not true.
Well, go ahead and
tell
me. Just go ahead and tell me that.
No, you got it.
And that's how I felt, but I just let you go. Like,
the only reason I'm talking like this is because it's like, if I don't, it's just, I'm not gonna be heard.
Okay, you see Keith's body language there when he just sighs and throws his hand up in the air. It's like he's saying it's pointless. You know, I can't really try to get a word in because you don't listen to me. It's very important that you let the other person speak and say his piece. And you talk back only to confirm your understanding of what the other person is saying. Because if you talk over the other person, it's very frustrating for both of you, not just for Keith, but I'm sure for you also, Shansei, because both of them are making this mistake.
Yeah, and she said, oh, I only talk like this because you're not listening to me. And the thing is, Shansei, that because you're talking like this, he won't listen to you because you're annoying him. You know, when you guys are sitting together and talking about a problem, it's already very frustrating. You know, it's a problem, so it's not nice. It's not a nice subject. So you guys have to make as much effort as you can to make this a good time together. Look, you know, I'm not gonna attack you, I'm not going to make you feel bad, but let's talk about this problem. So we moved in together, and I thought that we were gonna get a house. I thought that you had it all planned out, but you didn't have it all. So is there something I can do for us to go back to that plan?
Yeah, because attacking the other person for things not panning out the way you expected is not going to change anything. You have to see where you are and what you're going to do from here. It's like you're not listening to each other. You're not talking about the present. You're talking about what's happening in the past.
And making the other feel bad, because you're trying to solve the problem. You're not trying to make the other person feel bad. You know, let's keep the focus here on solving your problem. If you focus on solving this problem, you're not going to attack your partner.
Let's continue watching.
So I have to be ignored so you can be heard?
No,
Because
not
before
at all.
we started all this, I just wanted to see you. I'm telling you, hey, we had all these great moments. We still have great moments to this day. We had this one rough patch that's just been an itch that's just been hard to scratch. And I just want us to fix it. And it's still like
taking advantage of me because you knew that my mom was supporting me. You knew she was helping out. That's why I said, look, you know, at that point I was like, okay, well, I can't allow somebody to take advantage of me when they led me on to believe that they were gonna take care of their end. When I was talking to my mother the whole time, I was like, no, like, I know Keith, he got this, he's gonna do what he said he's gonna do. Like, I was vouching for you, even though the whole time she was coming down my back like, he don't need to be there, A, B, and C, he's not doing his part. She was doing that to me, but I kept believing that me and you had a plan. That's why I was so hurt. You knew my mom was gonna help and support me. You knew that. You knew she wasn't gonna let me be stuck out, and I feel like that was taken advantage of, period.
it's countless times where you have been talking and telling me so much and I feel attacked or I feel like this isn't true or this isn't right. But I just sit here and just listen. And I listen and listen. No, love, because when I get so far, you cut me off.
Look, all I wanted to do was know where you stand, like if you cared about this or not. Because for me, I had a lot to lose. There was a lot that I had to sacrifice. My home in LA, you know how long it took me to get out there? I've been working for my dreams since I was 2 years old. And all of that was taken away from me. So yes, I absolutely wanted to know where you stood and how much you cared. And I made that clear. So of course, I wanted to know, how do you feel?
And I told you how I felt.
And
I told you how I felt.
That's the only reason.
And I told you how I felt. And I told you that I really cared. I didn't come and take advantage of you.
And when I blocked when I blocked you, that was after I said, hey, you know, do you care?
After you came at me verbally and abused me.
It was nothing. You didn't take a stand on anything. You never stood up for our family and said, yes, like, I want us to do this. I believe in you.
And I did. You act like, yes, I did. Because the moments thereafter, when you told me that you were having a baby, I stood by you there in and there out. I called out of work. I made sure I was at home with you every single time, every waking moment. I was working 2 jobs at the same time, working 1 shift and coming home that night to work another shift just to come home and have some food for you and have money just so we can take care of the house. I paid rent on 4 separate different occasions. I have the receipts to prove so. If you don't believe me, I can show you those receipts as well. So don't say I didn't. But no, stop saying because you keep because I haven't even finished anything. I still can't even finish my statement.
Here, like, saying stuff that's not even accurate.
And what are you doing? Doing the same thing. You're doing the same thing. Just listen, bro. Just listen.
Okay, but can I just say the only reason why I came at you with that energy was because you was talking down on me the whole time.
I wasn't talking down on you the whole time. You literally talked. I did not talk down. I didn't even talk down on you that whole time. You came in.
The least I could do was pick up a dish. That was when I left. And I went for a walk and I came back and I told you to leave.
No, you did not.
All right, let's just, it's tiresome just to watch and listen to that. You know, when you're doing this in your relationship, you need to have at least a little bit of wisdom, of presence of mind at that moment to say, okay, this is not working. Okay, does anybody watching this right now think that they are getting somewhere? No, nobody. So when you're arguing with your partner this way, you need to understand we are way off. We are not on the path to solve this problem. What we need to start doing here right now is to understand that we are angry, we are upset, we are frustrated, both of us, for legitimate reasons, but we are not listening to each other, and we are not going to solve anything until we learn to listen.
Yeah, the thing is, you know, if you want to solve a problem, you can't feel the problem. And both of you are feeling the problem here. You're feeling hurt with the other. You regret things that you've done, things that you've said, you've heard, and you feel a lot of anger. And you're going to take this anger and you're going to throw at the other one. When you feel your problems, you're going to throw this anger at the other one. So the other one is going to have a lot of anger as well.
And try to defend himself.
Is going to be also responding with anger. So what we're saying here is you have to think. You have a problem, you have to think of how you're going to solve this problem. So Keith has his complaints. So Chansey needs to hear, needs to listen. What is it that he wants to say to me?
He's been trying to say what to you, Chansey? He's been trying to say that he doesn't feel heard, okay? That you cut him off, and every time that he tries to express his feelings and his thoughts, you just cut him off and don't validate what he's feeling, all right? So at no time here during this conversation, you've tried to do that, to say, okay, Keith, what is it that you feel? What is it that you want to tell me that I haven't been listening? That should be your attitude and much more productive. On the other hand, Keith, what Chansey's been trying to say to you all along here is, I don't know where you stand. I don't feel like you care for this family, and I don't know where you're going. Can you please help me out here? Because I feel like we are depending on my parents, and I don't know, I don't see an end in sight. That's what she's trying to say, and you are not listening to that.
If you listen, Keith, then you can talk to her about what she wants to hear. If you don't listen, the other one is not going to be able to talk. So it's all pointless.
The first step of communication is listening. Let's continue watching them.
No, you did not. You know you're lying.
Did.
You're lying, bro.
What am I lying about?
Because you left, Chansey, and I came back, and I was in the house looking at apartments, looking for us to find a spot to live in. You came back, and that's when you
say that like, you know.
Because I know verbatim.
I have been doing that the whole time, but okay.
Chansey, I'm not saying that's not what you've been doing the whole time. If you just actually listen, just listen. Listen. Stop interrupting because you feel like stuff ain't going your way. Just listen. You can't even put other people's feelings in consideration because you only think about how you feel.
That's not true. If I only thought about how I feel,
then you would listen
be here right now.
If you really would just sit here and listen. You only brought me here just so you can tell your point off and get away.
That's not
it.
true.
You don't even want to listen to what I'm saying.
Not true
you don't
at
even want to
all.
listen to how I'm feeling. And I'm just trying to tell you how I'm feeling and what was going on.
So the first point for them to solve this is really to develop listening skills, both of them.
Yeah. Another thing that I would like to help them with is to be more open, you know, about what's going on. Because I had a feeling here that Chansey, she had expectations, but she wasn't very clear about them at first. She just had them. Like, and this is very normal, you know, when you, especially for women, you know, you think, oh, he will do this for me because he's a man who loves me, and now we have a child, and he's probably going to do this and that and that. And when it doesn't go your way, you get frustrated. And you start thinking, you start judging the person like, he doesn't care for me, he's not thinking of me, he doesn't love me. But maybe you're just not clear to him what you want from him.
And once they assume and they are expecting that without voicing their expectations clearly, they could also be making another serious mistake, which is presume that the person can meet their expectations. Sometimes what you expect the other person to do is not up to their abilities. I don't know if Keith can meet your expectations, Chansey. I don't know if he can do that. So
at least now.
At this point,
maybe
yes.
Later, but you know, I keep thinking, Renato, what is pushing him to work harder now? Because he feels so frustrated right now. Why is he going to wake up tomorrow and say, I want to do more, I want to work harder, you know?
It seems like all he wants to do is get out.
Yeah.
You know, because it's not a pleasant situation. So, Keith, here a tip for you, a few things that you need to do. You also need to listen to Chansey and to understand her complaints about you as legitimate, understand what her expectations are, be clear about whether you can meet them right now or not. If not, why and when you will be able to meet them, if at all. You need to be able to position yourself and tell her where you're both at concerning these expectations. And Chancey needs to do the same thing. She needs to listen to him, his reasons, and you both need to focus on the problem. Okay, what is our goal? Our goal is to get our place, our house, a place to stay so that we can then do A, B, and C. All right, so what is the next step? She'll say, you're not going to solve every problem at once. So focus on the next step. You all both should have a long-term view, but you should focus on what you can do next.
And one thing that you could say, Chancey, is how can I help him raise the money?
Yeah.
Right? Maybe I can't work right now because of a child, but I can help him. I can help him somehow. And not, you know, just keep expecting him to give to you what maybe he can't give right now.
That's right. Well, that's about all the time we have for today, but we are going to leave you here with our social networks, The Love School USA at Instagram, and we'll be back next week at this time with more lessons for your love life.
Bye-bye.
Bye.